Yes, now audible. Hello.
Now am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir, you are audible very much. Let's continue.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
This meeting is being recorded.
Dr. Mahesh, are you feeling any difficulty in sharing?
Yeah, madam. I am just trying.
Okay.
Slides visible? Madam, slides are visible?
No, slides are not visible.
Okay. Just wait, madam.
Should I share it from here? Okay. So it's coming now.
Yes, sir, now it is visible.
But
Request everyone to kindly
voice is
mute
coming in
yourself.
background.
Everybody kindly please mute yourself.
So let's start. Thank you very much, madam, for your kind words.
Yes, sir, you may start, sir. Dr. Meena, you are on mute.
Now, okay.
Yes, now you're audible.
So today we will discuss regarding what are the opportunity, what are the approach. By that actually we can manage our soil health for our sustainable agriculture. So here we will discuss in very fast because we have very less time. So just thank you for giving me this opportunity to interact the students and other staff of our agriculture fertility. So here actually, basic first we should understanding what is soil. So you all almost know the uppermost layer of earth, but whenever we talk about 3 dimension, then only soil is complete. Otherwise, suppose if we talk in 2 dimension, then it is incomplete. So always actually depth is required whenever we talk about soil. So in agriculture, because without depth, actually we can't think or we can't do any agriculture, because actually any plants, any crop has its root system. So for their habitat, for their survive, actually some depth of soil is needed. So that's why actually it is a 3 dimension entity. So actually third one is very important. And as you all know, that soil is a living body, a breathing natural entity composed of solid liquid gases. And the soil has very high important functions. actually that's why it is very important to provide a habitat for organism as well as our plants, then recycle waste product, whatever we use or we add in soil, so everything is recycled, and their mechanism, their process, lot of physical chemical process are there. By that actually everything is recycled. Then actually whatever waste, so it is a very good filter also. So that is the third most important function. So that's why actually in groundwater in many area, people are talking about whenever we don't have good soil, healthy soil, then there are problem of contamination of groundwater. So that is there, and whenever you have good soil or good soil health, then actually it never allow to penetrate the pollutants from our surface to ground. Serve as a engineering material, definitely overload of buildings, roads, everything is we construct on our soil, then provides a medium for plant growth, because all our essential nutrients, actually 17 essential nutrients are required, so that is provided by our soil. And whenever actually some problem or the limitation of nutrient in soil, then definitely we have to supply through our fertilizers. So that is the important function of our soil. And as a soil, actually it has mainly solid, liquid and gases. So actually we consider a good soil or ideal soil that about 45% should be solid as a mineral, and 5% out of solid, 5% should be organic matter. Then whatever left over 50%, so that should be your air and water, but that always fluctuate, depends on your soil conditions. So that's why actually this proportion or is needed. In many area, even farmers and people feeling that subsoil is more compact, or we have actually compactness problem in many area. So that actually allow to stagnation of water. So that's why those soils become waterlogged. So because of excess water, sometimes actually we can't grow good crop. So that's why some proper drainage is required. So that's why when we talk about the depth, then it should be properly aerated, and we should means your air and water both is required for your good crop. Here you can say just example of one by this picture. If you have shallow depth or you don't have depth of soil, then about this rocks area, actually we can't even think to grow any plants. So that's why actually in such area we have to follow some other mechanism, or the mechanism. By that actually we should create some cavity, and that cavity should be filled by with good soil and fertilizers, manure. Then we can go for cultivation. So actually what is the soil health? This is the major thing people are talking about soil health, but we should understand whatever earlier functions we discussed. So that is the capacity of soil to function chemically, biologically and physically. Because if any soil has any problem, maybe chemically, maybe biologically, or maybe physically, if that soil is not functioning in three aspects, then definitely we can think that soil has some problem, or that soil health is not good. So that's why actually in all concerned, because major property we have chemically, physical and biological. So these are the soil health indicator. By that actually as a academician or as a student, we should understand that what are the physical indicator or chemical and biological. So in physical we consider like water retention and availability. Suppose in surface of water, if your water is stagnation or retention, or as a excess water on surface, so that indicates some compactness. But if there are some area where we have erosion problem, that may be your wind erosion or water erosion. So that also create a lot of physical problem. In chemically, mainly we should assess the nature of soil, whether it is acidic or it is alkaline or in normal. Then on the basis of our chemical, actually cation exchange capacity means how much nutrient or cations that soil can hold. Then whatever nutrients supplying capacity of a soil, that is the nutrient reservoir. But whenever suppose if supplying capacity is not good, then whatever we apply, so that nutrient should be retained by your soil. So in that term, actually we indicate this chemical. Then overall bioavailability of pollutants, suppose buffering capacity. So buffering capacity means whatever change, if you are adding something, then if suppose your soil is resist to change, so the resistant power of soil we consider as a buffering. So that should be good. Then only actually we can say a healthy soil. Regarding biologically, because you know our soil is a living body. So soil has lot of bacteria, fungus, actinomycetes, even some other microbes, and those are very important for our day-to-day nutrient recycling activities. Even sometimes our soils may be contaminated by your any pathogens, so that's why that we consider as a biological degradation. And trace gases, nowadays environmental aspects, so we think in that way. So these are the major indicator, by that we assess our soil health. These are the now major problem. So in that actually we can search, or we can have opportunity to start or some business or entrepreneurship, like nowadays actually soil testing, now government also supporting, so that we will discuss later on. But actually our soil health is decline in terms of our decline in organic carbon content. Then actually soils nowadays have multi-nutrient deficiencies, because earlier we talk about only nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium individually, but now time has come that we should talk in multi concern, means at a time whatever possible nutrients actually that we have to assess uh, every third year, so that actually we can assess what are the changes is there. Then soil compaction, we should see nutrient withdrawal, because nowadays we have very high yielding crops. So through that, actually, we are withdrawing a lot of nutrients, but whether that much we are supplying or not, that should also we should see. So that is only soil testing is a one tool. Hectare productivity is decline, means as per our input or whatever we are applying. So according to that, if you see your continuously your productivity is decline. So that is the major concern in nowadays agriculture. Then stagnation, decline in production, productivity, growth. So that is overall impact of your soil health and other factors. Then disease and pest incidences are increased. So that also one is the major factor is your soil health. So now question is sustainability, how we can sustain so that your soil will function continuously in a same tune, so that actually we can have a good sustainable production along with your nutritional aspects. So still in our agriculture, we have such much deficiency of nutrient, not only macro, even micronutrient deficiencies are also. Then still our huge absence of nutrient is still very low. If we talk about micronutrients, then only 2 to 5%. If we talk about phosphorus, only 15 to 20%. This is the in ideal case. Even sometimes less than this, we have the nutrient use efficiency. So these are the major concern, and these are the some example how we assess the multi-nutrient deficiencies in our Indian soils. So here you can say out of 100, how much samples are deficient in more than 2 nutrients. So even sometimes you have 5, 6 nutrients are deficient in many areas. These are the important parameter actually that we have to assess either through your soil testing lab or digital soil testing kit, whatever is there. So first a problem related parameter. So you have salinity, acidity, alkalinity, nutrient availability. So mostly your organic carbon, then available NPK, zinc, iron, copper, manganese, boron. Some in some areas you have calcareous soils, so calcium carbonate and in texture is very important. So that is required in testing. These are the ratings. So by that you can understand what should be AC. So EC value of our soil. So it should not be more than 2. If you have more than 2, then definitely it will create problem like here is this picture. So some tip burning. So edge is burning. So that indicates salinity. So if you have some like that, some symptoms, visible symptoms, then we have to test for our salinity test. So these are the some management how to avoid or excess salt accumulation. So by your irrigation pattern methodology, we can save our crop or soil from salt accumulation. Another is our pH. So about pH, or optimum pH is 6 to 8.5. Even sometimes we consider only 8. Whenever you have pH more than 8 or less than 6, then definitely we have to more concerns, and we go for if you have a pH less than 6, then lime requirement test is needed. If you have pH more than 8.5, then definitely gypsum requirement test is needed, so that we can reclaim our soils. So here, if you see the how the pH is important, so pH is not only affect your plant growth, even your all nutrient availability. So your optimum nutrient availability is in between 6.5 to 7.5. Whenever you have less than or more than less than 6 or more than 8, then definitely we have to more conscious and go for a specific test for reclamation. These are the some ratings. Actually, after testing, suppose you have a soil health card, your soil testing report, then how you can interpret your data. So according for interpretation, actually, like for major nutrients, we go for low, medium, high. For micronutrients, only we have deficiency and sufficiency. So for that, these limits are using, and accordingly, actually, we have to make our fertilizer recommendation, so that actually farmers should not use excess fertilizer, because those have very negative impact on not only on your crop production and quality, but on environment health also. So, and here this picture show that if you have a low category of your any nutrients, then there is probability or chance to get 90% is response in terms of your economic. But whenever you have very high, then your chance is less. So means or meaning is, if your any parameter in your soil, suppose phosphorus, potassium is very high, then actually we should not apply that nutrient, so that actually we can cut down our input cost, so that ultimate that will convert in your profit. There sometimes actually we have nutrient imbalance in our soils. So sometimes some one nutrient may be excess, another that may be bound by the, like suppose if you have excess potassium, so that will actually neglect, or that will actually avoid the calcium uptake. Similarly, for if you have excess phosphorus, that might your bind your zinc, so that availability is increased. Another approach is sometimes actually if you have expertise, then by seeing your visible symptoms, you can identify the nutritional problem in your crop. So these are the some example how we can see the potassium deficiency, copper deficiency, calcium deficiency, like boron deficiency. So in every plant, actually it has some different types of visible symptoms. So by that also actually you can assess, you can guide the farmers. Another important factor is your water quality, because actually these are the two important natural resource. One is your soil, another is water. So suppose if your water quality is not good, and that has some alkalinity or salinity or some hardness problem, then definitely it will affect not only your crop growth, but even your soil health also. So these are the some limits under that what should be the water quality parameter, so that we, so major parameter is again your electrical conductivity, EC, then your residual sodium carbonate, then SAR, then sometimes in some cases boron content also excess, so that may sometimes become toxic. So according to that, actually we have to assess. Nowadays actually this how to improve soil health. So these are the some option through that. One is your soil test based balanced fertilization, and we should go for crop diversification. So we should include legume even in our cropping system. Then non-conventional avenues, I suppose you have press mud, you have multi-organic waste in our system. So that should be actually divert from waste to as a manure in our crop. So that will be very good. And site-specific nutrient management, because we should not go by one recommendation. Actually, we should plan for at least for district or taluka level, so that how we can manage, how we can assess the problem. And another approach is nowadays conservation agriculture. So here means we have to do minimum tillage, and we should put some residue on soil surface, and we follow crop diversification, so including your legume. Friends, sometimes actually if you have micronutrient problems, then what should be the management? So you have soil application things, another is your foliar application, because in standing crop sometimes you follow some problem, feel some problem, then we should go for spray. So these are the major management practice. And under integrated nutrient management, these things we should understand what are the component. So your component may be fertilizer, manure, biofertilizer, soil nutrient, crop residue. So in manure, you may have FYM compost, green manuring, press mud, sludge, vermicompost, and it has many benefits, not only in your physical environment, but in available of your nutrients and reduce soil pollution. Then your nutrient, especially it may enhance your nutrient use efficiency. Then ultimate it reflect in your sustainable productivity. So that is the value. Nowadays, friend, this is the another option. Actually, nowadays many entrepreneur is producing good quality of organic manure. So here actually manures are there, but we have to choose, we have to give some option how we can enhance our nutrient content in manure, because all majority of manure at farmers level are in bulky nature. So if you have some just composting, how we can fortify our compost, or how we can add value in our compost. So just you wish, or we want to enhance our nutrient content so that we can curtail our chemical fertilizer. So, and nowadays, actually, people are attracting by under this business. Another is fertigation. Under this fertilizer, how we can moisture, water, we can save. If you are using your this water and fertilizer through fertigation or drip irrigation. So here, actually, it has many advantages. And friends, last pollution aspects. So we should be more cautious, because farmers, when are they are growing, so where they are washing the produce, what type of water, wastewater they are using. So every produce may have some contaminant. It may be biological contaminant, it may be chemical contaminants. So their assessment is another approach. By that way, actually, we can save not only our soil health, because nowadays we have one health concept. So in that, your soil, your water, animal, human, every health, actually we should talk, so that we can fulfill our requirement. Now government initiatives, what government are doing or want to do, or it has some policies through that, actually they want to achieve or improve our soil health. So one example is your soil health card scheme. So through that, actually governments or their laboratories are collecting samples. So it is a major job of our country. Then how much number of samples are collected, they are analyzed. So here actually we have three options. You have static laboratory, you have mobile van laboratory, and another is digital kit laboratory. So that is we called a mini soil testing lab. So through that, actually we can assess. After training, everybody can handle this mini digital kit. So in even we developed this kit at IRI Pusa. So the name is Pusa STFR meter. So Pusa soil testing fertilizer recommendation meter. So it can analyze your all 14 parameters, and not only analyze, on the basis of soil test value, actually it can give the fertilizer crop specific fertilizer recommendation, and it may can connect with your computers and generate soil health card. So this is the another, and with minimum cost, actually anybody can start this business, or we can fulfill or this objective. And the Parampargat Krishi Vikas Yojana, here actually friends, our main target or government target is how we can promote or minimize the chemical use in agriculture, and how we can use the organically, so that actually that will not only enhance your soil health, but that may produce good quality, so chemical free. So under that, now government is focusing more than that, and they are developing or this cluster, village cluster, even within cluster, they are developing FPO, so producer organization, farmer producer organization. Through that also, the government is supporting lot of fund available, so people can actually opt this approach and do. So this is my last message. And about the soil, upon this handful of soil, our survival it depends. Husband it, and it will grow our food, fuel, and our shelter, and surround us with beauty. Whatever beauty is there, that is the because of our soil. But abuse it, and the soil will collapse and die, taking man with it. So friend, it is like our mother. Soil always be considered as a mother. If our mother is not healthy, then everything, whatever we are producing, whatever we are taking from soil, so the health or quality of that produce will not be good. So with this, thank you very much. If any doubt, confusion, you can discuss or ask.
Thank you
Hello,
so
sir.
much, Dr. Hello. Thank you, Dr. Meena, for the presentation. It was a wonderful
Thank you,
presentation.
madam.
Yeah, I think you can stop sharing your screen.
Yeah, madam, just.
Yeah.
Is there question answer session?
We would be having all the questions at the end of the session. I think this is
Okay.
wonderfully explained, and other things also, that how the how this soil health has been taking place, and how the PKY is further being progressed under different names, we can say, like, through organic farming, through natural farming, and also there are various amendments needs to be done. It is well said that if you have to save the nation, you have to save the soil first. So thank you so much, Dr. Meena, for your presentation. So next with us, the next speaker from our panel is Mr. Manoj Singh. Mr. Manoj Singh is he leads the regenerative agriculture strategy portfolio and the crop residue management initiative, and he is from the Nature Conservancy India. Welcome, Mr. Manoj. Mr. Manoj has a diversified portfolio, and he has been working over the past 20 years in the nature conservation and in the natural resource management, agri-value chains, community-based adaptation and mitigation strategies. And he has also provided his services to the FAO and ADB through the various projects. The Nature Conservancy itself is a very largest organization who actually works upon the mission of to protect the land and the water, and therefore to impact the life through various ways. In India, I think it's almost more than 5 years to the Nature Conservancy, and it has been working with the government collaborations and the private and public partners in the sector of the crop residue management, and in the Namami Gange also. I feel that it has a great role to play. So over to you, Mr. Manoj, to hear more from regarding what exactly the Nature Conservancy is doing, and how we can, and all the audience can have your learned experience in the crop residue management and further in the sector of the crop regeneration. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vandana, and good afternoon to all participants. My name is Manoj Singh, and in terms of the Nature Conservancy, it's the largest conservation organization of the world, with presence in more than 70 countries. And in India, it started almost in 2016 around. And one of the initiatives that we have is on crop residue management in Punjab and Haryana. So let me take you over it. So we call it as a foodscape, Punjab, Haryana as a foodscape, because it's one of the region which is a sites of green revolution, and it's a site of where sufficient food is being produced. In terms of problem and challenges, there are a lot of issues in this region specific to Punjab and Haryana, whether it is groundwater table depletion, soil health and water quality, indiscriminate use of pesticide, imbalance use of nutrients, monocropping because of paddy wheat, more than 80% land contributes to it, and also paddy residue burning, which is one of the key factors which is not only impacting the soil health, but also health of millions of people in Delhi and NCR. So overall, this region is perfect for us to start our intervention as a conservation organization to start working on these elements in these states. And we started with paddy residue burning as an entry point for this cause in Punjab and Haryana. So as all of you know that, residue burning, especially in the month of October and November, farmers in Punjab, Haryana, UP, they resort to paddy residue burning because of short duration, that is available between harvest of paddy and subsequent sowing of wheat. And then in order to, it's only 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks time, and it becomes difficult for farmer to change their practice. And instead of that, they resort to burning. And that creates almost 12 to 15 million metric tons of crop residue that is being burned of an approximate area of 1.5 million hectares. And if you see Punjab and Haryana, the area under rice wheat cropping system is significant. It's around 4 million hectares. And if you see the slide on the right side, you can see how much residue is being burned. It's right now, it's almost, this data is 2017 one, but if you talk about the current data, it's almost around 50 to 60% of the, paddy that is being burned in these areas. So what is the impact? You can see air pollution, greenhouse gas emission, and definitely loss of soil nutrients. So everyone is attributing this factor in terms of, it causes air pollution, though it causes air pollution not at that significant level. It ranges from, you can say 2 to 40%, and 40% is only for specific one day, which is, if I go precisely, it is in the week of November 1st week. So it's not that it is only contributing to air pollution, but yes, the key factor is it also contributes majorly to the soil nutrient loss. So we'll see, you can see on the right side, the NASA map where, the red spots are the fire events, active fire events during that time. So what we have done, we are zeroed down to one conservation agriculture technology, which is known as Happy Seeder, which can be one of the most cost effective and scalable solution, no-till solution. As Dr. Meena also mentioned about the conservation agriculture, it's one of the key solutions to manage farm residue on the field itself. And what it does, it basically spread the residue on the field as a mulch and also simultaneously plant the wheat crop. So that there's no need to burn the residue and you can able to sow the wheat crop in one go. Why we choose Happy Seeder is also important to understand. In 2017, we organized different consultation with different key stakeholders, including BISA, CGIAR, CIMET, and government organizations in Punjab and Haryana specific. And then in Delhi also, we organized field dialogues, policy dialogues, expert review workshops. And also one of the right side, you can see one of the prestigious journal of the world, which is Science. TNC's lead economist, along with 25 to 30 different institutions, has worked on analysis where they have compared 10 different technologies for controlling crop residue burning. And amongst all the techniques, Super SMS combined with which is being used with combines for harvesting, along with Happy Seeder, is the most scalable and profitable thing for the farmer. So you can see the benefits of the Happy Seeder in terms of environmental benefits. It cleans air, improves soil quality, it improves the soil organic carbon over a period of few years, reduces one irrigation. And when we are talking one irrigation in wheat, it means around 500,000 liters of water per hectare. And we are talking about 1.5 million hectares. So you can see the numbers that we can save in terms of water saving. That too in a geography where the water is depleting. And then also in terms of reduction in number of operation that is required, inputs requirement, and saving the time basically. So we have right now 3 initiatives on the ground, you can say projects on the ground. One is Harit, where Tata Trust is major partner along with BISA and CIMET. And this is almost, we have completed 3 years of operation of Harit in 850 villages in Punjab and Haryana, 7 districts. And then there's agri entrepreneurs that we are working with, around 200 villages, around 150 agri entrepreneurs with the Syngenta Foundation team. And basically these agri entrepreneurs are working on providing crop residue management services on rental basis to different farmers, different machines and all. And now we have another project known as Prana, which is a scale-up version of Harit. And we will be intending to cover 9,000 villages. You can say entire Punjab, because if you talk about residue burning, more than 80% of the issue lies with Punjab in terms of burning. So around 17 districts we will be covering in next 3 years. And that's very ambitious, but we are moving towards that direction. So if you talk about Harit, what we have done, we have selected 5 pilot village where more interventions has been done in terms of demonstration, training, capacity building of farmers. And around 150 villages we have done this in Punjab and Haryana. And in non-pilot village, it's basically only the behavioral change communication through mobile-based advisories. We also shared few happy seeder for demonstration purpose with farmers. And then custom operators we got trained. Overall, around more than 35,000 hectares of land has been turned into a no-burn system as a demonstration. And more than 24,000 farmers we have done outreach in these 3 years. So the Prana project, we are looking forward in next 3 years. As I said, it's very ambitious. We will be covering around 1 million hectares of cropland, 250,000 farmers that will adopt zero-burn cropping system. And also we know that it's not easy to shift farmer from, towards conservation agriculture. We will pilot one financial instrument also that incentivize farmer to adopt no-burn agricultural system. There are few learnings in the last 3 years, and government has really worked on that in providing subsidized crop residue management machines to the farmers and other stakeholders like cooperatives, custom hiring centers. The key challenge is utilization and performance of these machines. So I think that is very much important to be there, and it's
Manoj, we lost your voice.
Hello, is I'm audible?
Yes, now you're audible.
Okay. And then lastly, we'll definitely, the purpose of all these exercises in next few years, we want to move towards regenerative food system in Punjab and Haryana foodscape. And when I say regenerative food system, we mean to say that it's a comprehensive system that I'll cover in my next slide also. You can see in terms of the potential for India to sequester soil, basically so that, the soil organic carbon can be increased is huge. The study has been done by TNC globally, and then India has a great potential for it. So there are 2 ways that we can do to move towards regenerative food system. One is through soil sequestration, and then other is reducing the emissions part from agriculture. And then this transition, you can see clearly in this slide, the difference between regenerative agriculture, foodscape, and food system. Regenerative agriculture are the farming practices which aim to build natural capital while providing healthy food and secure livelihoods. When I talk about foodscape, it's a distinct food production region, for example, Punjab and Haryana. And it may not only be limited to land, but at sea also, so that, it covers the other part of it like fisheries and other thing, aquaculture, which is more or less same characteristics. And we want to move towards the developing this as a whole socio-economic system where this regenerative food system where both the nature and people can, it's a win-win proposition for both. So thank you very much. This is all what I have want to convey. And if anyone interested to know more details, I am happy to share more details. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Manoj. I think there are many questions would be coming across. So I would request the audience to kindly keep all the queries on the chat box so that we may take at the end of the session. Until then, please stay tuned with us. And thank you, Mr. Manoj, for such a knowledge sharing session with us, in which basically I think we should, if we see, then the takeaway, if we see that for all the audience from this is that it's a approach taken by the TNC of the regenerative agriculture. But why not to have a collaborative approach where it's all the corporate, maybe through CSR and through public-private funds, to approach the organizations like TNC India and work together for upskilling and reskilling and making the more human power, human resources, so that all these projects like Prana, Harit, they can be scaled up at the largest level. Thank you, Mr. Manoj. With this, I would like to now I would like to call upon our next esteemed speaker, who is Dr. Rishi Verma. Dr. Rishi Verma is Dr. Rishi Verma is from the Divya Trust, and actually he is handling all the PGS India certifications, where this is the particular agency, one of the 51 agencies which has been nominated by the, which has been rather, I should say, recognized by the Ministry of Agriculture for the PGS programs, where all the participate guarantees program is there for that organic certification, and how this organic farming and the natural farming that could be moved ahead with these certification systems, and how the small farmers who don't have large acres of land with them, but definitely if they can be brought together to the function of the FPOs, and they could be certified among them with their own participation, and how the guarantee system acts upon. So all this more to hear from Dr. Rishi Verma. Dr. Rishi Verma, over to you, please.
Thank you, Dr. Vandana, for giving the opportunity in this August gathering. My previous speakers have very nicely explained the importance of the sustainability. And sustainability can come only through sustainable exploitation of the resources. And जैसा कि हमारे वेदों में भी कहा गया है, माता भूमि पुत्र हम पृथ्वी, इसका मतलब यह है पृथ्वी के प्रति संवेदनशील रहते हुए उनके उचित सस्टेनेबल एक्सप्लॉयटेशन किया जाए तो हर चीज सुखी और समृद्ध रहेगी। तो आपकी आज्ञा से मैं आई विल शेयर माय प्रेजेंटेशन।
प्लीज सर।
Whether presentation is visible, madam?
Yes, it is visible, sir. Very much visible.
The Way of Mandir Trust is, as you have already explained, that one of the 51 agencies which are designated for certification of organic farming and promotion of organic farming in India. The Way of Mandir Trust, since its inception, have been promoting yoga and organic farming across India. And after seeing our progress and contribution towards this, Government of India, particularly Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare, have entrusted this responsibility of organic certification on the Way of Mandir Trust last year. If you see the current market status of farming is growing very rapidly. It is, if we see the compound annual growth is somewhere it is between 24 to 25%. It is increasing. And after Corona episode, now this growth have further multiplied, because everyone have now realized that sustainability of our body means our health can also be achieved only through the pure and insecticide free food. If you see, the demand for organic produce is increasing on one hand, but again there is a need to certify the produce, because how farmer or consumer can believe on each other, there need to be a certification process. So Government of India have recognized 2 certification process in India. Now we come to the organic farming. Organic farming or natural farming. In India, organic farming is being called by many names, or natural farming is there, then zero budget farming is there, then organic farming is there. So if we see, there are 4 or 5 steps of organic farming which need to be taken up. As Dr. Mahesh and Manoj Singh have already explained, that mixed and multiple or intercropping is required for achieving the organic farming objectives. We need to supplement input through traditional agriculture inputs. Traditional agriculture inputs means organic inputs produced from the farm waste, cow dung, then Jivamrit, because if you see, the nature have made such a beautiful system of replenishing the nutrient. If you see, before 70 year or 60 year before, there were no fertilizers, chemical fertilizer were available. And if you have to establish a urea plant in India, we require 1,000 crores of rupees to establish a urea plant. And then you need a lot of logistics to supply that urea or nitrogen to the farms. And it has its own implications. But God has given us the capacity free of cost, only through the microbes. Those microbes were already available, but over a period of time in this modern era of green revolution, which have on one way have helped us to mitigate our food requirement, but on the other hand, it have led to the degradation of our soil. The nitrogen can be fixed by microbes which were available in the soil, but now we need to supplement through Jivamrit, through organic farmyard manure or compost. In this 10-15 photo, if you see, all steps of organic farming are explained. We need biofertilizer liquid, we need biocontrol. See, if biocontrol is very effective, today what is happening, most of the farmers approach the chemical fertilizers, chemical input supplier shops whenever there is a problem of insect or any disease. They go and purchase the chemicals which are injurious not only to the crops, soil, they are injurious to the health also. But there is no remedy to most of the insects, because by the time these insects are recognized by farmer or by the shopkeepers, damage has already been done. So if they have installed yellow sticky strip or pheromone hormone strips, we could have easily established that there will be a attack of insect. So if we could find that there will be an attack of insect, we could have taken the remedy that how to control those insects. There are many biocontrol agents are available which can control the insect or pest without damaging the nature. So if you see animal, through animal husbandry, we can get cow dung and cow urine, which are very useful for improving the fertility. Then in organic farming, soil testing is very necessary. If through soil testing, we can find out how much organic carbon is there, how much organic carbon is required, and what are the status of nutrient which are required not only for the crop, the nutrient required for the microbes also. Because these microbes require only organic carbon for feeding on them. If the organic carbon is less, we should go for a green manure crop, or we can add farmyard manure into the soil so that we can improve the microbe population, which will free of cost give nitrogen, free of cost mobilize the phosphorus. They can mobilize all 16 nutrients required for the crop without much investment. Then land preparation, as Mr. Manoj Singh have demonstrated through their technology, we don't need very heavy machinery. Now there is a new era is coming for zero tillage agriculture. Then natural predator we need to create, which were already available, but over a period of time, due to monocropping, we have destroyed the habitat of our natural predators. In organic farming, we need to create a habitat for all predator which can control disease and pests. Then here, as Dr. Vandana have already told, that organic farming required grouping of the small farmers. Unless they group themselves, we cannot create a large quantity of organic produce. We cannot conduct the inspection. And if these small farmers become a group, we will be able to conduct the inspection easily, and those things can be certified under government schemes. See, in India, there are two systems of organic certification. One is NPOP, which is called third-party certification. It is a slightly costly certification system, but it has its own advantage. The produce certified under third-party certification system can be exported to other countries. Then another system is participatory guarantee system, which is controlled by Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare. That is called PGS India Certification Program. PGS India Certification Control system is controlled by Ministry of Agriculture and its secretariat at Ghaziabad. PGS India program is on a group or FPO basis program. Here, minimum 5 farmers can create their own group, which will control their certification process. But from this year onward, individual farmer can also come under PGS certification, and after 2 years or so, the individual farmer can become a group, and then they can start certification of their organic crop. In this PGS certification system, there is a unique arrangement can be made with the trader at the beginning of the crop itself. Trader can become peer inspector along with the farmer, so that there is a confidence in each other. The organic certification, there are 5 major pillars of the organic certification. There is a prohibition of chemical fertilizer, pesticide, hormone, antibiotics, food additives, free, and crop need to be free from any genetically modified organism or seed. Chemical free duration means there have to be a minimum moratorium of chemical free period for the crop to be declared as a organic crop. Minimum 2 year to or there may be more duration. For seasonal crop, it is minimum 2 years, and for plantation crop, it have to be 3 years. Then very important aspect is record. Farmer need to keep that record of their all operations, input used, input purchased, and what are the machinery used, how they have taken the steps for controlling the contamination from water or from wind from the neighboring farmer field who are not taking up organic farming. Then there need to be a strict separation, physical separation from the inorganic crops and inorganic instrument used by other farmers. Then another next important aspect is inspection. Site inspection have to be carried out by themselves as well as by the certification agency. Any organic crop have to be evaluated on 10 parameters. Any field have to be evaluated on 10 parameters. That is habitat management, as told earlier also. Habitat means habitat for the natural predators, insects, beneficial birds. Then diversity. Diversity means farm should have various type of plants, trees which are required for preparing natural or organic insecticides, organic pesticides, organic fungicides, and that diversity should help maintaining habitat for the predators also. Then integration of livestock. Livestock is a major requirement for any type of organic farming. There have to be cow, buffalo, or other type of livestock. Then soil and water conservation efforts should be there. These are the 4 major input or infrastructure have to be created by the farmer. Then there are next 6 issues are there which need to be controlled. Contamination control. There have to be very impeccable effort to be made by the farmer for contamination control. If farmer is not able to control 5 to 10 issues, the crop cannot be certified as a organic or PGS green. So there is a contamination control from the neighboring farmer or from water. Seed and planting material cannot be genetically modified. Fertilizers means there cannot be use of chemical fertilizer. Even in pest management, we have to use integrated pest management, not involving chemicals. It have to be all organic pest management method. Then equipment which are used in non-organic farms need to be avoided, and if it is not avoided, they need to be thoroughly cleaned. Then storage and transportation, as earlier told, there have to be strict separation of organic and inorganic crop while handling. If these 10 conditions are met, the crop can be given organic certification, or based on their duration. That is initial first year they will be given PGS Green 1 and PGS Green 2. Second year and third year it can be given PGS Organic, PGS India Organic certificate. This chart explains the whole process of the organic certification followed under PGS India. Means first condition is formation of group. That group will be allotted or created a login on PGS India portal. And here the role of service provider and certification body comes. Then here all the information or farm history of each and every farmer is filled on the PGS portal. And then after verification of document of the farmer, then regional council awards the certification process for PGS Green 1 in first year. And if the farmer have met all the 10 conditions, he is awarded PGS Green 2. And then if farmer is able to maintain all the 10 conditions of peer appraisal, the farmer is given PGS organic certification. This is the whole process of organic certification followed under PGS India. Then PGS India produce and traceability. When, actually this all organic produce is controlled under FSSAI Act of India, where the PGS green produce can be packed and marketed on PGS. Government of India has created one portal called Javik Kheti. Javik Kheti portal works just like any marketing portal like Amazon, Flipkart. There, organic farmers can list their crop on the portal, and same way the processor or buyer can also log into that system and approach the farmer for buying the organic produce. Any organic produce have to be labeled Organic India, PGS India Organic, as well as Javik Bharat. Any produce marketed in India should have Javik Bharat logo along with on the packet. And if you see, this is first is organic green, that is first 2 year, it is a safe food. And then third year, farmer is given, if he follows all the 10 conditions, PGS India organic label, and along with PGS India organic label, processor or farmer can use Javik Bharat logo of FSSAI. Advantage to the farmer associated with the Divyog Mandir Trust: technical support to the crop cultivation and supporting marketing through training, online webinars, information on weather forecasting, mandi rate linkage with market through various applications, training on demand on various web-based marketing tools, daily yoga classes and weekly or fortnightly free consultation with yoga trainer, linkage and collaboration with government and other agencies, recognition, reward to the well-performing farmer and groups, daily yoga har webinar with organic farmers and consumers. We acknowledge the resources and help received from various organizations for preparation of this document. Thank you. Any question is there, we can answer, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rishi Verma, for such an enlightening session and telling the details how PGS system actually works. So this is really a wonderful opportunity to all of us to have more learnings, that not only it is the organic certifications from different sectors, but yes, there is also a ray of hope for the small landholders to go for the organic certification of their produce. So because the time is running out, but we want to have more discussions, but let's quickly have some queries that it has come. So because the session was just over, and Dr. Rishi, we have one question from for Rishi. And Dr. Rishi, there is a question that how can this produce, could also be exported, or this produce which is PGS certified, can this could be further also exported? It meets the international standards also. Dr. Rishi, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible, madam. As far as organic standard are concerned, both NPOP and standards are equivalent. There is no dilution in the standard of organic cultivation either. Only thing, the recognition of organic certification process by the countries which are importing the produce is more important here. Various countries have recognized our third-party process certification process, which is managed by APIDA. PGS certification is a country-specific organic certification process for domestic market. So far, it is mandated only for the domestic market. But yes, there are efforts on this between government to government. Maybe in future, we may be able to export to our signatory countries who are recognizing their own, each other's PGS certification process.
Thank you, Dr. Rishi, for the answer. Dr. Rishi, I think you can stop sharing your screen. We have another question. I think there is a long time. Dr. Sunil Jadhav is online. He just wants to ask about the happy seeder. So just it's written happy seeder. So maybe I think he just wanted to ask how happy seeder works and how much has he further taken. I think Manoj, I would like he would be able to answer this question.
Sure. So Dr. Jadhav, this happy seeder is a no-till technology where it attaches with the tractor, and then on a standing stubble, it sows the next wheat crop as a seed. It sows the wheat seed, and also it clears the stubble which comes in front of it. So this is how it works. It doesn't need too many operation. If you see the traditional practice of sowing wheat, you need to clear the residue first, and then almost 4 to 5 different operations that is required. But in case of happy seeder, on one side you can harvest field through your combines, and in the same field you can do the sowing with wheat for wheat with happy seeder. The challenge with happy seeder right now, in 1 year the uptake was very high, and in next year there was some challenges, like for example, for the last 50 years we are telling farmers that you can do the tillage and then sow the field in a clean field, and now suddenly we are telling them to sow their wheat seed in a standing stubble. So it's a behavioral change issue which may take some time. Those farmers who are adopting happy seeder for 2 years or 3 years, now they are not reverting back to traditional or any burning thing. But those farmers who are just first year, and then trying to see the results and then discuss with peer-to-peer learning also, they might have some question. But yes, those who are experienced, and then it's not that it will give immediately a very jump in the yield next year. It's not like that. But over a period of 2-3 years, it reduces cost of production and also the urea requirement, and improves the productivity also.
Thank you, Mr. Manoj. I think the query has been well resolved by Manoj. It's well addressed. Thank you so much. Also, I think there is one question on, this question is for, I think, Dr. Meena, he would be able to answer that. What is the one of the very most important soil health property or indicator one should take care, one should address actually, and taking, because there are so many soil health properties. So which one is the most important soil health property that one should first of all see?
Yeah, madam, very good question. But actually it is very difficult to say one property, because you have soil have 3 dimensions. So sorry, 3 property, major property: physical, chemical, and biological. But in one term, suppose if everything is good in terms of physical, then we can say if organic carbon is one parameter, if suppose we can maintain good, but again actually other problems may be there along with good organic matter. So pH, if we can say minimum parameter. So chemically organic carbon and PHEC, Hello, madam.
Yes, yes, now you're audible. So please go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So only we can say organic carbon, if in one term.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So I think besides organic carbon also, we can also have a look upon the, as Dr. Meena said, that it is very difficult to predict which one is the most important. Yes, definitely if you go for the soil pH also, because that could also be, I think that could be determined immediately with the various new facilities for the soil testing labs that has come over. But definitely without, if the organic carbon depletion is there, then definitely it affects the CN ratio and other things. Very nicely. I think the query has been well addressed. There is one more, quickly we would be taking another question where it is saying that because now there are many mini soil testing labs are also there. So how much is the requirement of the human resource management for attending those, for having people in that particular labs? Like, is there a requirement or already there is a surplus going on for the soil lab testing technicians and other jobs?
Yeah, madam. For that, actually, that manpower, number of manpower depends on your workload, how much workload you have. But on an average, actually, one expert, that is a subject specialist, that should be soil scientist, that should be in charge of lab. Then the 2 analysts and 2 supporting staff is means on an average good. But if you are suppose it depends how many samples you are receiving on daily basis. And suppose what is your target, how much area you want to cover within a short time. So if you want to cover more area, then you have to engage more person. So that depends. But if you are on an average, actually 2 analysts and 2 supporting and 1 soil testing in charge, that should be a soil scientist is required.
Thank you, Dr. Meena. So I think that again, when we are talking about skilling, upskilling of the people are required, because if soil is the main criteria, if we have a soil, if we have to have a more fertile lands as well as more crop productivity, then definitely we need to have more soil lab people who are actually trained and skilled enough into the soil testing systems, not only for the soil testing, but assisting them, and then having the collections not only from the soils, from the waters also, because it's not only the soils, but it is also the water, it is also the fishery sector that is affected by the soil testing and the water testing. So there is a huge scope for this. Thank you so much. And quickly, but last but not the least, this particular question is from Mr. Manoj Singh, that are you actually looking for some direct, some plant species for that regenerative agriculture, or how you would be like to go with that?
Right. So there are different, so there are basically 2 ways that we will be moving forward. One in the short run, what we need to do, and other in the long run. So in the short run, what we want to do is basically improve the efficiencies, whether it is water use efficiency or even fertilizer use efficiency, improving within the existing system of rice wheat in Punjab and Haryana, and then the crop residue management in the next 3 years. But if you talk about the long term, that also might come in the short term also, some of the things like agroforestry. That could be one area where, which can improve the income of the farmer, as well as do the soil carbon sequestration, improve organic carbon of the soil. The second thing may be the oil seed and pulses and millets. So when we talk to farmers in Punjab and Haryana, they are saying rice is not our crop, and they are not rice eaters also. So it's only because of minimum assured price that they cultivate that, so that they have a good assured income out of it, and which is a very valid point also. So anything we promote as a crop diversification should have more remunerative value than rice wheat system. So that's what we may be planning to. Millets were earlier grown in Punjab and Haryana also. So that's where we will try to focus on. And then pulses are there. We are importing pulses, oil seeds. So these are some of the things I just want to share. And then intercropping and, crop rotation, those are some other aspects that we'll go for.
Thank you so much, Mr. Manoj, for the answer. I think there is one query which actually they want to ask that whether TNC has any activity in the domain of carbon finance or marketing in agriculture. Yeah.
Yes, we do have that. Globally, we have a large number of teams that is engaged for this process and to understand all these things. But in India, we are at very nascent stage. But yes, we do. We recently had one carbon market specialist. So maybe while moving forward, we'll have more, discussion point on this, and we can update you, anyone who is interested to explore these things.
Thank you so much. I think the most of the queries are addressed, and if somebody wants to further approach, then we can share the contacts with the particular persons. They can share their email IDs with us. And last but not the least, the webinar would not be complete without a vote of thanks. I would like to thank and express my gratitude to all the participants for their presence and for the patience listening, without whom this particular webinar would not have been a great success. I would also like to express my thanks to our esteemed speaker, Mr. Manoj Singh, Dr. Mahesh Singh Meena, and the esteemed Dr. Rishi Verma, actually, who has actually spared their valuable time to share their learnings with us for our knowledge enhancement, so that and how we can take it further. Yes, definitely, this webinar would be definitely a takeaway for all of us, that we should work in a team in a collaborative manner in a PPP mode, where all public, private partnership would be taken care of, and skilling and upskilling with the Ministry of Skill Development under the aegis, where Agriculture Skill Council of India is also always there with its open hands to have the certifications under the RPL programs for the new trainings under the various agriculture and allied job roles, specifically to the soil sciences, organic carbon, composting, the name you say, we are always there for the skilling systems. Thank you so very much, and all of them. And yes, definitely, I would also like to thank you, our Vice President, Colonel P.S. Gupta, who has always been a mentoring support to us for organizing such events, and Dr. Stendra Singh Arya, our CEO, without whose support and his continuous guidance, such knowledge webinar series would not have been possible. And yes, definitely all Agriculture Skill Council of India team for helping us and giving a supporting hand behind the curtains to organizing these events to reach to a grand success. Thank you once again. Thank you one and all. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you,
very much,
everyone.
madam. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much
so much.
for conducting. Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.